If you want pancakes that taste amazing but fit your bodybuilding lifestyle, follow along. All right, step number one, we're gonna take oats and we're gonna make oat flour. So I'm gonna measure 40 grams on here, which is roughly half a cup. Today is my off day of eating, so my carbs are a little bit on the lower side. So as you'll see, you can obviously make this fit your macros. If you say had a cup of oats, there's no reason you can't put 80 grams of oats in here. So let's measure those. All right, scales on, and we're just gonna measure 40 grams of oats, which is 27 grams of carbs. Perfect. All right, all we'll do, put this in the blender and make oat flour. The reason we do that is so it's not gritty. We want this to be smooth, like if you're getting one from IHOP. So as you can see, that's powder, it looks like protein powder. Next up, we're gonna take some coconut oil, turn the pan on medium-low heat, and today I'm gonna use 5 grams of coconut oil. So let's measure that out. Now we're gonna turn the pan on medium heat, medium-low really, and then all I'm gonna do is scrape that coconut oil around the side of the pan, and that's gonna be in place for our Pam. So if you didn't want fat at this meal, you don't have to add the coconut oil. You can just cook with Pam or the coconut oil spray, but I need 5 grams of fat with this meal of added fat. So 5 grams of coconut oil, that's gonna make the pancake taste nice and sweet as well. Okay, so added to the oat flour, we're gonna do 1 scoop of Granite Whey. I'm using the vanilla here, but you can obviously use chocolate, you can use the caramel, or even the peanut butter would all be great options. So 1 scoop of protein here. That smells so good. All right, next up, we're gonna cut the berries. Strawberries here. So with strawberries, what we wanna think about is, could you throw those on the scale? Yes, but to me, you're gonna lose nutrients. So I'm gonna stem and core these before I put them on the scale. Next up, blueberries. I'm gonna total this fruit to be 150 grams. So we're just gonna get that as close as possible. Spot on. All right, we're gonna rinse the fruit now. And then add that right to our mixture of the oats and the whey. All right, next up, we're gonna add a cup of egg whites to add the remainder of the protein for this meal. Now that all the ingredients are in, all I'm gonna do is put the lid back on the blender and blend this for roughly 10 seconds. All right, next up, make sure that coconut oil coats the pan so the pancake doesn't stick. And then we're just gonna dump it right in. Final step here, we'll add the lid, and it's roughly 5 minutes. You'll have to play around with that because what we wanna make sure is when you flip it, you get a nice good flip on it. So it needs to be cooked enough in the bottom that you can flip it. These aren't gonna bubble up like normal pancakes will on a griddle. So pay really close attention to, and it'll be a little bit of an art, if I'm being brutally honest, with flipping this thing. This will take some practice. You might make some mess. So again, roughly 5 or 6 minutes on, again, medium to low heat. All right, time to flip. So I'm gonna take a non-stick spatula and just get right on the edge of that. If you look, that's perfect. So from there, I'm gonna slip this big spatula underneath. Lid back on for roughly about the same amount of time. Second to last step here, I'm gonna remove the lid, use a little bit of spray butter. Now, you don't wanna go crazy with this, so just 1, well, the second I missed it, 2, 3. Done there. Now, if you wanted to add some calories to this, you could definitely use some grass-fed butter to up the fat content. But again, I just want a little bit of that spray butter to give it a slight butter taste and make the pancake a little bit more moist. Time to plate. Last and final step, we're gonna add some sugar-free syrup. Now, with this, for 2 tablespoons, it's only 3 grams of carbs. So this is not gonna make or break you. Notice, I just drizzle a little bit, not a whole lot. Now, time to eat. Final bite there. So kind of wrapping everything up. If you look at the total macros of all the meal, if you can tell, for me, that's gonna be pretty low. But this is an off day of eating again. If you wanna bump these numbers up, you can do a lot of things like add more oatmeal. You could top that with peanut butter or almond butter. You could add more fruit. Always take that number up. You can obviously add more egg whites, or even if you take some of the egg whites out and put whole eggs in there in their place. So always to bump those numbers up and fit your daily macronutrient needs for that given meal. Final point I'll touch on here before we go. This meal is really good to make in advance as well. So I have a lot of clients that are busy in the morning with their kids, or let's say they're getting off the treadmill and they're hungry and ready to eat. You can make this pancake, slice it, put it in the fridge, and then somebody pop it in the microwave, top it with the syrup, and you're hammering a meal. So again, if you're on the go, you can eat that in a car, you can eat it at a table. Again, you can cut it up into little small pieces and just eat it handheld. So if you don't want to even add the syrup, you don't have to. But again, that makes it a little bit more wet and easier to get down. So again, enjoy that meal, try it at home, let me know what you think about it.